Susana, I know that you lost your parents when you were quite young, and I was so struck that for a person who was raised with very minimal resources, you have this vast reservoir of love and resources available to you that you give to so many other people. And in the chapter, you really talk about how your parents had incredible values that they passed down to you. So I want to know what part of your experiences have led you to your work here, and what were the values that your parents passed down to you?
Thank you. Before I answer your question, I also want to say thank you to you all for this event. Thank you to Jill and yourself for having me here. It's truly a pleasure to be here. As you mentioned, and before I actually answer your question, I want to share something with you all that's actually a little secret. A lot of the people I work with on a day-to-day and for the last 8 years of my life don't know that reality of my past, don't know that I was orphaned at the age of 11. And the reason I don't share that is because I've always felt there's no reason to share that story. That's my story. But now I've learned that actually those moments in my life have been a great opportunity to really mold the woman that I am today. And the foundation that my parents gave me was all about love, compassion, and respect. And that is the foundation I work on a daily basis. That's where I build from. So while I've lived my life without my parents, who are the core of my foundation, I'm very lucky to live and work with many people in the Central Valley trying to fight for the most basic thing in this world, which is water. But as a foundation, my experiences have truly formed the person I am today, and for that I'm ever grateful.
So you also talk about the fact in the chapter that there are 2 Californias. Could you talk about that a little bit and then segue into what your nonprofit does and its mission?
Yes, I think in California, in this state where we're at today, we have 2 different Californias. And the one I live in, take for example, imagining sending your child to school where the water fountain is shut down and there's laminated signs above the water fountain saying you can't drink the water because, and it's laminated because we have nitrates or because we have DVCP in the water. So that child is not able to drink the tap water. Or imagine today having to warn your child not to swallow the water while they brush their teeth. That is a reality that many families live today in California. That is a different reality from what we would think of as a state of California. Today in California, approximately over 1 million people are exposed to illegal and unsafe levels of contaminants found in their tap water. And the vast majority of these contaminants are where I live, in the San Joaquin Valley. If you were just to look at the water rates in the state of California, you would think that all the rich people live in the Central Valley. But that's not the case. The reality is, it is our hardworking families, our farm worker families, are having to pay twice for water. For a water bill, in addition to that, they have to buy bottled water just to have safe drinking water at home. For many, that's 10% of their household income alone. In addition to having to pay a high price for water, they're exposed to this contaminant that can cause cancer and all kinds of diseases. So not only are we exposed in our home, but also our schools in California. And that's the reality that we need to share with you all, to realize that in California, we need to ensure that every Californian, wherever you live, should not fear filling up a glass of water from the tap because you're going to get sick. And that's the reality that we have today. So Community Water Center, that's why we're here. The reason being that we founded Community Water Center 6 years ago was because of this nasty secret that California hides. We like to say that clean water will flow towards money and power. And that is the reality. So Community Water Center, our mission is to be a catalyst for community-driven water solutions through advocacy, education in the Central Valley. And it's key to say community-driven. We have to ensure that what we pass forward is actually driven by the need, because then it will be implemented. And our vision at the end of the day for this nonprofit is to ensure that everyone has safe drinking water and to remind ourselves as human beings that without safe drinking water, we cannot survive. We're not talking about a cell phone or a car. We're talking about basic necessities. And that's the reason our nonprofit works on a day-to-day. And it's truly a privilege to do what I do.